You can listen to Football for Kids completely ad-free by signing up on Patreon or on Apple Podcast subscription. You can also link Patreon to your podcast player via Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Without adverts, there is no show. This episode is brought to you by our partners at Everton FC. Do you want to go behind the scenes at Hill Dickinson Stadium and explore the club's brilliant new home on the banks of the River Mersey? Now you can. Everton Stadium tours give fans a chance to step inside the dressing room, see where the manager prepares the squad on match days, follow in the footsteps of their heroes, walk down the tunnel to the sound of cars and emerge pitchside for some unforgettable photo opportunities, including the chance to sit in the manager's dugout. How cool is that? It's a brilliant day out for football fans, families and anyone who loves seeing what happens beyond the touchline. The tours are fully accessible and open to all ages too. If you fancy seeing Everton's new home up close, booking is online only at evertonfc.com/tours. Hello grown-ups. Are you already starting to think about the summer holidays and how to keep the kids busy? Yeah, I thought you might. Today's podcast is brought to you by Kellogg'S Football Camps, a brilliant solution for families looking to keep kids active, having fun and building confidence this summer. With camps for girls and boys aged 5 to 15, Kellogg's are offering over 39,000 free places at sessions hosted by over 70 pro football clubs across the UK. From Colchester to Cardiff, Glasgow to London. It's a great chance for kids to get out, to play football and make new friends over the summer break. To book a free place, just buy a promotional Kellogg's Football Camps pack and scan the QR code to choose a club near you. T's and C's apply, subject to availability.
You might have a huge screen, surround sound, and a sofa so comfy your dog's Velcroed to it. But if there's no one to bear hug when that buzzer beater flies in, what's the point? The best place to watch sports is the one with the right people in it. Fanzo finds the bar worth being in. Whatever the game, wherever you are. Ever shared a moment you still yak on about 10 years later? You'll know exactly why we built this. Fanzo. Live sport together.
To the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees, and welcome to day 4 on this very special Kellogg's Football Camp Super Week. As you can already tell, it's a proper World Cup special Super Week, and in this episode we're going to be exploring yet another legendary player who will surely be playing in their final World Cup tournament ever. We've spoken about Cristiano Ronaldo, we've spoken about Lionel Messi, and at the start of this very special Kellogg's Football Camp Super Week, we did a gigantic World Cup preview. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the legendary, the brilliant, the absolutely fantastic Luka Modric. Some footballers burst onto the World Cup stage like a firework. Brilliant, dazzling, and gone in a flash. But Luka Modrić has been different. For 2 extraordinary decades, Croatia's little midfield magician has kept returning to football's biggest stage, conducting matches as if the ball were attached to his boots by an invisible piece of string. His World Cup adventure began as a young substitute in Germany 2006, exactly the same as Lionel Messi. Since then, there has been disappointment, heartbreak, and one astonishing run to the final in Russia 2018, where Modric was named the best player of the entire tournament. Now aged 40, he is preparing for one final World Cup adventure as a player. I reckon we might see him as a manager one day. But this is the remarkable story of Luka Modrić at the FIFA World Cup over the past 20 years. To understand Luka Modrić, we need to travel back in time to his childhood in Croatia. When Luka was just 6 years old, war forced his family to flee their home. His grandfather, who was also called Luka, was killed during the conflict. The family found shelter in a hotel in the coastal city of Zadar. Life was frightening. Sirens would suddenly fill the air, warning people to hurry towards safety. But whenever he could, little Luka grabbed a football and played in the hotel car park. Years later, Modric said that those difficult experiences helped to make him tougher. Long before the World Cup finals, the medals and the magic, Luka Modrić had already learned how to keep going. You can listen to the full episode on his story and his journey all the way through his club career and everything else by searching Luka Modrić on the Football for Kids podcast. In 2006, Luka Modrić arrived at his very first World Cup as a 20-year-old midfielder from the club Dinamo Zagreb. Only a few months earlier, he had made his senior debut for Croatia. In an impressive 3-2 victory over Argentina, he looked fabulous. Now he was heading to Germany for the biggest football tournament on earth, and arguably the biggest sporting tournament on earth. Luka was not yet Croatia's captain. He was not a global superstar. He was a skinny young substitute wearing the number 14 shirt, waiting patiently for his opportunity. His first World Cup appearance came during a tense 0-0 draw against Japan. He returned from the bench in Croatia's final group match against Australia. It was a wild 2-2 draw, filled with drama, confusion and enough yellow cards to wallpaper a small bedroom. Croatia were eliminated from the tournament, but Modric had taken his first steps onto the World Cup stage. The football world had only caught a tiny glimpse of him. Much more was still to come. After his first taste of the World Cup in 2006 in Germany, Luka Modric hoped to return 4 years later as a much more improved and important player. By then he was playing in England for Tottenham Hotspur, but in August 2009, disaster struck. During a Premier League match against Birmingham City, Luka fractured a bone in his right leg. The injury forced him to miss important qualifying matches for Croatia, including a difficult trip to face England at Wembley Stadium. Without their midfield magician, Croatia eventually missed out on a place at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. For Modric, it was a painful missing chapter. He would have to wait another 4 years for his next World Cup opportunity and his next World Cup adventure. By the time the 2014 World Cup had arrived, Luka Modric was no longer the skinny young substitute waiting patiently for an opportunity. He was now a Real Madrid star, a proper one as well. Only a few weeks earlier, Luka had taken the corner which led to Sergio Ramos' dramatic equaliser in the Champions League final. Real Madrid went on to win the trophy. Now, Luka Modric was heading to Brazil, hoping to create another unforgettable football story with his home nation of Croatia. The first match was against the home nation. Croatia took an early lead, but Brazil fought back to win 3-1 after a very controversial penalty decision. Croatia responded brilliantly, thumping Cameroon 4-0 in their next game. That meant everything rested on their final group match against Mexico. Win and Croatia would reach the knockout stages. For 70 tense minutes, the score remained 0-0. Then Mexico burst into life out of nowhere. 3 goals arrived in quick succession, like a sudden tropical thunderstorm. Croatia scored once, but it was too late. They had lost the game 3-1. For the second time in Modric's World Cup career, the adventure had ended in the group stages. 4 years later, Luka Modric arrived at the 2018 World Cup in Russia as Croatia's captain this time. Croatia began with a 2-0 victory over Nigeria, with Luka Modric calmly scoring from the penalty spot. Then came a huge match against Lionel Messi's Argentina. Croatia were already winning 1-0 when Luka collected the ball outside the penalty area. He twisted away, shifted onto his right foot and curled a beautiful shot into the bottom corner. Croatia went on to win 3-0. After another victory against Iceland, they finished the group stage with 3 wins from 3 matches. The Real Madrid magician was no longer waiting in the wings, he was conducting the entire orchestra. The knockout stages became an exhausting football adventure. Croatia faced Denmark in the round of 16. With the score at 1-1 during extra time, Luka Modric had his penalty saved. For a few horrible moments, it looked as though Croatia's dream might disappear yet again. But Luka stepped forward again during the penalty shootout and scored. Croatia survived. Then they beat the host nation Russia in another dramatic shootout. In the semi-final against England, Croatia fell behind early, but they fought back and eventually won 2-1 after extra time. They had reached their first World Cup final. France won the final 4-2 in Moscow, but Modric had been magnificent through the entire tournament. He was awarded the Golden Ball as the World Cup's best player that year. 4 years later, Luka Modric had returned for another World Cup adventure. He was now 37 years old. I mean, some footballers would have been relaxing with a cup of tea and a comfortable pair of slippers. Not Luka. In Qatar, Croatia reached the knockout stages after drawing with Morocco and Belgium and thumping Canada 4-1. Then the drama returned. Croatia survived the penalty shootout against Japan before facing Brazil, one of the tournament's favourites. Brazil scored during extra time. Croatia looked to be heading home. But with just minutes remaining, Croatia equalised and then went on to win another penalty shootout. Argentina would go on to beat them in the semi-final, but Modric and his teammates did not leave empty-handed. They defeated Morocco 2-1 to win the bronze medal that year. Luka was also awarded the bronze ball as one of the tournament's finest players yet again. Most footballers would have retired by now, and then there's the likes of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and of course Luka Modric. After 13 extraordinary seasons with Real Madrid, Luka joined AC Milan in Italy and kept playing at the highest level. Now, aged 40, the Croatian magician has been selected yet again for yet another World Cup, and he is on the team for the 2026 World Cup. If he steps onto the pitch, which we reckon he may well do, it'll be his 5th World Cup tournament of playing. Croatia will face Ghana, Panama and an old rival, England. Back in 2018, Luka helped Croatia defeat England in the semi-final. 8 years later, the two teams will meet again in their opening match. Will this be Modric's final World Cup adventure? Will he go on to get his hands on a World Cup trophy? From a hotel car park to the greatest stadiums on earth, Luka's World Cup story has been remarkable. He arrived at his first World Cup as a 20-year-old skinny substitute. He became Croatia's captain, led his country to their first World Cup final in 2018 and won the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. 4 years later, aged 37, he helped Croatia win the bronze medal and collected the bronze ball. Now, aged 40, he is preparing for one more adventure. Modric has never been the biggest player on the pitch. He's never needed to be. But the biggest thing is, he's got the talent, he's put the work in, and he's always believed in his ability. And we can all learn something from that. So remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about the Football for Kids podcast. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitchside, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.